The Il Toro just got nerfed in patch 1.20. And yeah, you can feel it. But Embark nerfed the wrong things. The Il Toro is still one of the most forgiving weapons in Arc Raiders. And that's because it doesn't ask much from you. It has the capacity to keep pressure on, and it barely requires precision. The Il Toro fires 9 pellets in a tight spread, and as long as a few connect, you're getting relatively consistent damage. Even at range, the large magazine capacity allows you to keep shooting, and on top of this, you can still pump the gun while rolling, so you're constantly applying pressure, even while repositioning. So when they nerfed the gun in patch 1.20, they reduced the damage, slowed the fire rate, increased dispersion, and made it reload slower. On paper, that sounds like a lot, and it does hurt the range, but none of those changes actually address the core issue. Because before the patch, this thing could two-shot most players, and even now, it is still doing that against light shields. Medium shields take 3 shots, but there's no reward for accuracy with the Il Toro. The problem was never close range damage, and the Il Toro was not broken because of its fire rate, or its reload speed, or even its raw damage. It was broken because of how easy it is to apply pressure, and how long it can keep doing it without forcing the user to make any real decisions. With an extended Mag 2, you've got up to 12 shells. That's enough to wipe an entire team without ever needing to reload. And this is on a green weapon that is cheap to craft. And because you don't need headshots, you don't even need good aim. You can just keep firing and forcing mistakes. So that's the real problem, how little the gun asks of you. Even at medium range, spamming it instead of drawing something like an anvil can still work because the pressure is so intense. Even after these nerfs, even with lower damage and a slower fire rate, you're still getting low effort damage at ranges where a shotgun shouldn't feel this reliable, and nothing in the patch actually changes this interaction. What does actually need to change? It comes down to 2 things: capacity and consistency. First, the magazine size. Having 12 shells at Mag 2, you can apply non-stop pressure with a cheap attachment. You don't need to disengage, you don't need to reload, and you can just keep shooting until the fight is over. But that's not how most weapons in Arc Raiders work. Lowering the capacity to something like 4 base that scales up to maybe 8 or 10 max would force actual decision making mid-fight. Second is consistency. Right now, you don't need to aim for the head. You can just point and click. As long as some pellets connect, you're rewarded with damage. Yeah, it's a shotgun. So instead of simply lowering damage or fire rate, the focus should be on reducing the ability to spam the weapon and adding a stronger reward for precision, like a headshot multiplier. Because until the Il Toro actually asks its user to make a decision, it's going to feel oppressive in some form. Plus, these nerfs almost feel like they target the Il Toro at close range, which is where it should shine. A headshot multiplier could reward accuracy in close range. So even with these nerfs, can you actually outplay the Il Toro up close? Yeah, you can, but only if you don't play into what it wants. The Il Toro is strongest when it's aggressive. That's when it can close distance and keep pressure on you. So your job is to deny that. That means keeping your distance, rotating, and using cover. You have to force the Il Toro player to fight on your terms. This is something I've spoken about in my hunt videos, but a big part of these asymmetrical shooting games is to force people to play your game. And at around 20 meters, the Il Toro can still create pressure, but it's not going to outtrade a precise weapon like an anvil. Besides the obvious mistake of letting them walk you down, the other big one is allowing them to retain the immense pressure that they've created. You can do things like use grenades to deny movement. Grenades aren't just for damage. Dropping them in between you and another player can deny a push. But once that Il Toro user is in close, the fight is basically theirs to lose. So up close, You need to get the drop, start shooting first, or force them into a bad position. Remember, clear and then loot. You can see me creeping up on people in these clips, and that's because they didn't clear their space first. Whatever end of the shotgun you're on, you do not want a fair fight. And if you end up just standing there, trading shots, you're going to lose. Let me know what you think of the changes down in the comments. And if you enjoy my content, please like and subscribe. It helps me to know that I'm on the right track. And as always, I will see you in the bayou.